Hey everyone, welcome to the New Slang Podcast. This is episode 8. I'm Thomas Mooney, the editor-in-chief of New Slang here in Lubbock. And this week we have singer-songwriter Troy Cartwright on the podcast. I guess it was a couple weeks back. He was here in Lubbock. He was playing a Thursday show at Blue Light. So we set up the microphones and all this podcast crap up in the pool room, and we had this conversation about Ryan Adams and his new record, and a lot of Sturgill Simpson stuff and Jason Isbell kind of commentary. And yeah, I mean, there's a few people walking through because there was this like lawyer meeting out in the back patio, which is one of those like, yeah, you would think that no one would be up at Blue Light or at Tom's at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But, of course, it was the third Thursday, and there was a lawyer meeting in the back. So there's a few people walking through who slightly inebriated attorneys. Anyways, this podcast episode is brought to you by the Blue Light. And this week, their shows are going to be, for the weekend at least, Thursday is going to be Rob Baird, Rob, as you'll listen in the podcast, he's, I guess, co-produced Troy's new upcoming record, and he'll be playing Thursday. Friday is going to be Paul Cawthon, which Paul is also going to be on the podcast on Friday. We're going to record an episode with him, and then Saturday is going to be Brandon Adams and the Sad Bastards, which if you are remotely familiar with Lubbock music, you'll know that Brandon is one of the underrated artists of the last 10 years, and really probably influenced more people in this last 15-year period than probably anyone else. So he'll be playing Saturday, and then on Sunday, actually, they're going to be having the patio open, and an upcoming Lubbock songwriter by the name of Grant Gilbert will be playing full band up there. Sundays are always free, so you can go up there and play, or not play, but go and see live music, cheap drink specials, and all that kind of stuff. Nice for I don't know, an enjoyable Sunday evening if it's not too cold or too hot outside. I should probably also mention that this coming Tuesday is going to be Dalton Domino's Drinko Music Festival thing. It's, just a one-day festival with music going on in the Blue Light and on the back patio. There's a laundry list of artists ranging from local guys like Randall King in Nogi County to guys like Cody Canada playing, and like Sam Riggs is playing, and Shane Smith, John Bauman. Just to give you a preview of some people playing. You'll want to get there early. I think like doors open at 2 p.m. I think. It's going to be music from 2 p.m. to close. And so yeah, you'll want to get there early because it's not like Blue Light's the biggest place capacity wise. It's not like you're going to let 1,000 people in or something crazy like that. So you want to get there early, get your spot if you did not buy pre-sale tickets that were available a few weeks back. Yeah, so be sure to go and see that on Tuesday. And also just that the day before, you may not know, but on Mondays at Blue Light is singer-songwriter night, in which, I mean, I don't have any confirmation or anything, but I'm sure that some of those people who are playing Tuesday will be there on Monday as well, just doing the open mic night. So that's always free, and if you're a songwriter or anyone who just likes to see, I guess, the beginning stages of any kind of career, go up on Monday. It's live music, it's free, and it's a good time to see, I don't know, like a mix of people who are beginning their careers, and every once in a while you'll get somebody who was at that point, 3-5 years ago, show up and play a few tunes. Anyways, I don't want to just ramble on like I'm doing right now. too much longer. So yeah, we'll get on to the Troy Cartwright interview in, I guess, like a few seconds. Thanks. Okay, well, really don't do intros here, but how's it going, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad.
That's good.
Just I was working at my grandmother's yard all damn day, so
Oh no.
that was
What, like mowing?
yeah, and
Doing
like
some edging?
raking and like raking leaves and all that kind of
I'm really into edging.
shit. Yeah, I'm not really into yard work at all, but
Yeah, I'm not
what's
either.
kind of funny though is like she's looking for a radio and she couldn't find it, so she just put her iPhone out there and was playing some Red Shahan.
Hey,
So,
there you go.
I mean,
That's some good music right there.
yeah, it's my grandma's kind of funny about that. Like she's got like 4 records on her iPod right now.
Uh-huh. Is that one of them?
It's Red Shahan, the last Stapleton record,
Uh-huh.
and 2 Turnpike records,
Wow.
and
Dude.
that YouTube record because she does not know how to.
Oh, the one that
Yeah,
that they made you automatically download?
yeah,
That's
So-
funny. That's almost like a desert island compilation, you know, if you got stuck on an island with 5 records, those wouldn't be some bad ones to choose. Probably not the U2 one, but
yeah.
maybe if you wanted to end your life, you know, on the island, that would be the right soundtrack. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. I do think that one song, Miracle of Joey Ramone, which was used in all those iTunes or iPod, I guess iTunes, iPod
Oh,
commercials.
and yeah.
I don't think that song is that bad. Like,
Okay. Well, I mean, they're U2,
Mhm.
so it's not like they're horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at one point they were pretty good. It's just
Yeah.
sort of like I read this interview with Billy Joel, and he was just basically ripping Elton John. He was like, "We've written enough good songs. Like, we're old. We don't need to keep doing this. We can just tour on our back catalog." And I always thought that was interesting. I kind of admired him more for that.
Yeah. I don't know. I get what he's saying and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but I also think that, you know, if Dylan had quit in the late 80s,
Sure.
or like Springsteen or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't get
You'd miss. That's
Dylan's great 90s records like Time Out of Mind.
true. Yeah, that's very
But-
true. So,
But okay, we're just talking about the Island records.
yeah.
What would be your 5?
Oh man.
I feel like this is one of those things you just have to do an impulse
Well,
pick. If
I'm gonna reflect on the records that I still listen to, that I've been listening to for the last 10 years, they're pretty much all Ryan Adams records. So Heartbreaker for sure,
Mhm.
Easy Tiger, Demolition. Those are my top 3, and then I don't know, probably that Stapleton records. That's pretty classic. And then there's this old Pete Yorn record. Used to be big on MTV. I think it was called For Nancy, or maybe that was a single. I think the record was called Music for the Morning After or something. That might have been a sophomore record. I can't remember, but the one with For Nancy and Closet, that was a great record, and
Yeah.
I still like it.
And see,
You know?
I never really listened to Pete Yorn at all. I
It's,
guess like my one Pete Yorn thing was like, oh, he did that Scarlett Johansson like collab record
right.
just a few years back. But
And yeah, he released a record like kind of recently. I didn't listen to it. He did. His first 2 records were pretty good, but this was like in the time of like where the only way I really listened to music was I was like 12, so it was like run home, watch TRL on MTV, and so it was like Pete Yorn was like the only guy on there who wasn't like a boy band. So
yeah,
I always kind of liked it, and then. I also liked like POD and stuff because I was 12. So you never realize, I guess, at the time that what you're listening to then you will still enjoy when you're quite a bit older. So
yeah, the TRL age is kind of a okay. Somebody had posted this video on YouTube, and it was like little 5-second clips of songs from mid-90s, early 2000s.
yeah,
And my first thought was, oh man, I wish like somebody had a list of all of these so I could just go check them back. And then I found that list and I screenshotted it so I could look them up that next morning. And it was just
was it bad or was it great?
it was good in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like there's some songs where you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And what is,
Like-
this is one of the things I thought about was so much of the pop music was based off of like club dance kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And now like pop music there for a while was like all like based off of the idea of being a folk band in the Mumford and Sons kind of way.
Yeah.
You know?
And
And I
now-
don't know when that transition happened, but then
Yeah. And now it's like, I don't know, it's like EDM-ish pop,
Mhm.
you know? It's interesting. I think about, too, all the time, like, was John Mayer, like, very popular on the radio? Like, in, I don't know, circa 2008?
I don't know about 8. I remember the only thing I can really remember him being is the like Daughters era,
Yeah.
like the Your Body Is a Wonderland, which I think is like 2004 or 5 ish,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then maybe he was already like into the blues trio kind of stuff around
yeah,
8.
and that definitely didn't get any radio play, but
No, not at all.
and Continuum, I don't think there was much on there that was on the radio either, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's so interesting how, I don't know, like just the fad changes, like what works for pop radio, you know,
Mhm.
then and now, and I don't know, it's a weird game for sure.
Yeah, because if you don't get a record out in 18 months later,
Right.
you could just be forgotten.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
there's only so many people who can transcend that period where you're just
Mhm.
going, oh yeah, well Dr. Dre, we're still waiting on Detox, I
Right.
guess. You know, like
Yeah, that's very true.
Chinese Democracy by
That's just the music industry, man. It's hard.
yeah.
It's hard to make it. Hard to make it out here for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so like Ryan Adams, I always loved Ryan Adams
Yeah.
as well. What is like your tentative ranking of his records? I mean, I know it's a lot of them out there, but like, what is your?
You know, there are some that I'm not even that crazy about. I really like Heartbreaker was the first one, so
Mhm.
it's always number one for me because that was the one. That was like why I started playing this kind of music. My buddy left it in my car when I was 16. You know, like a burned CD, and you know he wanted it back after like a week, and I was like, no, dude, I'm
Yeah.
keeping this. You know, so I was so into that, and then I would say so that's 1, 2, probably Easy Tiger. But maybe Demolition. I think that's an underrated record.
Yeah,
Um,
Demolition's underrated, and in my opinion, 29 is severely underrated.
You think so?
Yeah.
what about? I love that Cardnology record too.
See, I kind of like
You didn't like it?
around like I guess right after Easy Tiger,
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, oh man,
Yeah, I never.
because he also did the whole I'm retiring after this.
Oh really?
For-
See, I'd never. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
like his actual like day-to-day career until like maybe 2009.
Yeah.
So I
Like-
missed his whole.
Like right after Cardnology, he was like, I'm done. I'm finished. I'm not playing any more
Wow.
music. I'm not going to record it. And then, of course, 18 months later, he has something else out. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. But
Was it like Ashes and Fire maybe or?
that was the next one.
Yeah.
I think he had like a double record that was kind of like just compilation-ish.
Oh yeah. Well, there was an
Like
EP,
3,
that Extra
4.
Cheese
Yeah.
EP that came out. I didn't even bother to
Yeah.
buy that.
I think that was done by his... what record label was he on? He was on
Oh man.
Lost Highway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
that was
yeah.
like a Lost Highway, like,
thing.
hey, Valentine's Day's around here,
Hey man.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that I went really deep down the internet rabbit hole, and I found this article. I don't know when this would have been, early 2000s maybe, but it was like there was a point where like old 97s and Ryan Adams were like considered on the same
Mm-hmm.
plane, and that just kind of blew my mind, like discovering that later. Because I mean, I love the old 97s, but of course
Yeah.
Ryan Adams is like
Yeah.
sitting front row at the Grammys. So
See, I have this friend, Jeff, used to be in Thirst for Cowboys, and he's like more old 97s than Ryan Adams, but he still loves Ryan Adams a whole
Yeah.
lot. But he says that there was an Austin City Limits episode that was old 97s and Whiskey Town,
okay,
and that like apparently Rhett Miller went over and knocked on their door and was like, hey, you guys have any, and I don't know what he asks for, maybe
Yeah.
like some beer or like some cups or something,
some ice.
and they just didn't say anything to him, and he just stood there or something. That's what I heard, or that's what I
Wow,
heard through
dude. Yeah, Ryan Adams definitely seems like someone who, like, they always say don't meet your heroes. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think I would like that. I would hate to be disappointed. I just love him so much. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's there for a while. Like, it was just, celebrity worship for Ryan Adams for me. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I love absolutely, and I still love his music,
yeah,
But I think he's one of those guys where he's definitely past his prime. Like, that's not saying he's not putting out okay music, or
Right.
good music, but like from Heartbreaker to like Cold Roses, it's just
yeah.
incredible.
Which record is Easy Plateau on?
That's Cold
Yeah,
Roses.
that's
yeah.
the second disc, right?
Yeah.
God, that's
Which
a
is-
great song.
Cold Roses, I think, is pretty funny. Is that since it was split up into 2 discs,
Mm-hmm.
everyone was either like disc 1, disc 2. kind
Oh,
of thing.
really?
And I've had this conversation with people being like, yeah, I just put disc 2 and I could not take that disc out. So
Really?
I didn't know about disc 1, what was on disc 1 for like
That's pretty
6
funny.
months, and vice versa.
There you go. See, I didn't care for disc 1 very much.
Yeah,
Is that the one with like Mockingbird?
yeah.
I don't know.
Like disc 1's like Mockingbird and what else is there? Magnolia Mountain.
Yeah, yeah. I
Stuff
just
like
Easy
that.
Plateau was like such a jam for me.
Yeah. I just got like hooked. That I guess what hooked me onto disc 2 was just Let It Ride first off,
Yeah.
because it's just like a God man, it's a
Yeah, it's a great
yeah.
song.
And there's like that second verse and that second or third verse was just so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like I can't say what it is right now. I can tell
Right.
you, but like therefore when I got the record, it was like, man, yeah, I could get like a tattoo of that, like something dumb probably.
Boy, that's
but,
yeah.
but
That's
it was
deep, dude. That's a
it was
lot of love
meaningful,
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So least favorite Ryan Adams record though.
I don't know. I didn't like Gold very much.
Did you not?
No. But that was like the peak of his fame too, probably, right?
Mm-hmm. It's very much like, I guess people could describe it as like his try hard moment. you know?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's why it doesn't sound like Ryan Adams to me. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. I mean, it does, but
yeah.
it's. I don't know. I don't know what he was going for.
I think he was just looking for commercial success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like okay, this is my chance.
Well, yeah, you're sitting
know?
there in that canon, with that.
Mhm.
I think about that all the time when I'm writing my own music. It's like, I mean, it's a lot smaller stakes, but you're thinking all the time, like, oh man, is this song gonna work on Texas country radio, or
Mm-hmm.
are people gonna like this? And like, it sucks. It sucks to be. You feel pressure, and you wonder, for him if he's just, yeah, he was like, okay, well, I mean, right, because to have a commercially successful record, like, unless it's really out of nowhere, like, you got to have all this infrastructure. So if he was set up for that and he was just thinking, all right, this is my chance, so maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
what he tried to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, there's worse records out there for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't like that one that much. So
Yeah. There's a couple songs on there that I go, oh yeah. I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. I mean, like, I guess like Rescue Blues
yeah,
is on there. I don't know. That's also like the record that he called in all his buddies. Like
right.
What's his face from Counting Crows? I think sings some
Oh yeah,
harmony vocals and
Guy's got a ridiculous voice too.
yeah.
And very big hands. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did
His
not.
large hands. I heard that.
The
from someone.
anti-Trump.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's okay. You mentioned something earlier. Just the, like, what point does, wondering how successful a song is, not necessarily even like how successful, but like if it will, mean something to somebody else. When does that even?
When does that enter like
yeah?
your psyche? I think you're always. I think for me, it never goes well when I go into it thinking, oh, I need to write a song like this. So,
Mhm.
like, for instance, I don't know, a year and a half ago, we opened for American Aquarium in Dallas, and those guys are awesome. I love them. And I got home and I was like, I gotta write a song like this. And then I wrote it. And I thought it was awesome for like a couple weeks, and then I went back to it, and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? You know. And I think you do that with a lot of songs. So I think it just depends on where you're at with the song. And I know for like this new record, that was like, you know, we were picking from me and my producer for probably like 30 songs, and it was trying to figure out the right songs that fit maybe like as an album, and also, you know, trying to let that go. He was really pushing me to let that go because, you know, I'm lucky enough to make a living playing music, but like, you know, it's tight. So you want to go to that next level, you know, and it costs money to make a record, so you don't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
And, you know, 2 years down the road, you're out of money and you're 2 years older and, you know, you're fucked. So,
yeah.
It's hard.
I do think it's this, even if you want to believe that everybody should be the songs come first. I'm not thinking about what anyone thinks of these songs.
Right.
I'm going to do that thing. That's very, very, very difficult to do. Like
it is.
That's like half of 1% does that and is able to make it, you know?
Right.
And I guess like you have to think about it in the way that probably the people buying your records also bought records that are, I guess, like outliers for them as far as,
sure,
you know, these incredible songwriters or, you know, like these 1%ers. But then also you're diving into the market of they've bought every Casey Donahue record, or, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like,
sure.
So where's the balance of the, you know?
Yeah, where's the balance? And also, like, are you trying to think bigger? You know, it's like everybody wants to be nationally successful. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, my favorite, I'm using air quotes, Texas country guy, if you want to call him that, is probably Hayes Carl. And, you know, and he had a lot of national success, and obviously signed to Lost Highway and all that. But, I mean, I think as a songwriter, that's sort of the model you look to, of someone who can kind of, I don't want to say it's pandering. It's just like the style of music you create, does it work for this audience? And, you know, unfortunately, in this scene, a lot of it's just bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why anyone listens to it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that people do that much. It's just, it's there, you know. It's on the radio, and there's a whole system in place, and which is great. You know, we're very lucky here in Texas, Red Dirt, whatever, to have the infrastructure in place to where you kind of can catch a little bit of momentum from the radio side, or, you know, there's players and they're established, whereas I feel like on the Americana side, it's a little bit less. There's not as much of a structure, I guess, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's certainly big players in Americana as well, but you know, it's a bigger stage, so it's harder to kind of get up that ladder. So I think that's one thing that's really unique about, you know, being in Texas and playing this circuit is, you know, you get this scene like rewards bands who, you know, you gotta be talented, but if you work hard and stay the course, like, you can, at least for the most part, kind of make it happen. You know, and I think the hard part is just trying not to plateau, or, you know, get complacent and not make new records, or just start getting wasted every show, or
what sucks is like whenever an artist decides that that they only want to do Texas,
right?
You know, and sometimes I guess, like, you know, if you're playing in Texas and like the last 6 months of shows, the last year of shows have all been in Texas, that's fine and everything. But also, if you're not always trying to think like, well, let's try and get at least some dates going out west, or like out east. And if you have to have like a state of mind bigger than Texas. You do,
yeah. And well, it's a long-term mentality too, right? Because eventually, you know, you're not going to, when you get bigger, you're going to have to stop playing Texas as much, because you're going to ruin it. You know, you're going to ruin your draw.
Yeah.
And that is, you know, for a lot of guys, what allows them to get the bus and make the badass record that sounds, you know, like $100,000 record or whatever, you know, and that's.
You kind of have to think of Texas in the same way that of a venue or a city, you know, like you're not playing Blue Light, you know, once a month,
right?
Where like nobody would come. You play,
you got to play every 3 or 4 months, and you know, it's like you know, I would always thought of it as like an incubator, and trying to find. I mean, you know, I grew up in Texas, but I was living in Boston for 5 years, and I was like a wedding singer, and it was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I want to play music, but I don't want to do this. So I moved to Texas and, you know, started playing. And I would say in the last only 6 or 8 months has it finally gotten to the point where I feel like I can kind of keep my head above the water, I guess. And now with the new record, I'm sort of like trying to survey the landscape and see where, you know, where the next move is. And obviously, like, we still got a lot of work to do growing it in Texas or whatever. You know, we're not a huge name or anything, but we're getting somewhere, I suppose.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
You sent me the record just this afternoon.
Yeah.
Afternoon, evening.
It's pretty late.
Yeah. I saw somebody on Twitter the other day ask the breaking point between afternoon and evening, and I said 5 o'clock.
I was going to say 4:30, so.
4:30?
Yeah.
I say 5 just because of that's typically like the work day.
Okay. I'm with you.
But regardless, anyways, this new record.
Yeah.
Where'd you do it? And like, how long did it take to? You said you cut it down from like, I guess you were picking from 30 songs or so.
Yeah. So I did it in Austin with called Rattle Trap Studios, but produced by Rob Baird and Brian Douglas Phillips, and Rob, you know, is kind of like I don't know, he's my dude. Like, he was always been really cool to me. Like, when I was first getting started, and when I still make trips up to Nashville, but at one point he was up there. He's back in Austin now, but you know, we had some beers or whatever, and this was like 2 years ago. Just got to talking and kind of hit it off from like a music that we liked standpoint, you know. And we were playing at the Mercury Lounge in Tulsa, I don't know, back in October maybe, and he sent me a text. He's like, "Hey, dude, I want to produce your record," because I've been looking around for producer, and I've like been going up to Nashville and barking up that tree to see like want to produce my record, and like none of it didn't feel good, you know. It just felt like something I don't know. It's like, it's a struggle, right? And you're trying to grow, so you know you want to like get a good producer, but BDP, the other producer, had done a lot of other records that I liked. I'm blanking on the guy's name. David. New record, Fables.
Oh, David Ramirez.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not Fables, but the record before that.
The Rooster, maybe, or
no.
like the
one with whatever the first. Now I'm blanking on the name, but anyway, he'd done some really great work for.
We have our phones right here, but
we could look, but I mean, I feel like that's cheating, you know.
I know.
So I'm just not going to look.
I looked at my phone, and
yeah, it's like I got to type in. So yeah, we started working on that, and we started tracking it in December. But before that, end of October, November, I would just go to Rob's house in Austin. He's got a little back house, so you can just kind of crash there for a few days, and we'd stay up till like 5 in the morning, and I just play songs, you know. And like I said, we probably played over 30 songs, and we'd write them down, and kind of got a list going, and then you know, pared it down and tried to make a record that sounded like a record, not just the record I did before. I was proud of a lot of it, but it just felt rushed. And you know, some of it I listen back and I'm like, man, like it didn't feel like me, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, talk about that struggle of like, are you trying to sound like this or that? And you know, so I feel like with this record, it's, you know, we struck a really, it just, you know, it sounds like me. It's the songs I wanted to do, and I think as much as we could, we kind of blocked out are you trying to, you know, who's going to listen to this or whatever. It's like, well, let's just make the record that you want to make, and, you know, hopefully people like it, and if not, I guess, you know, I'll do something else. I don't know. That's not I can't do anything else, but just figure something out. Maybe the next record I'll just make make all cheesy country tunes or something if this doesn't work out.
cheesy country tunes.
No.
Yeah. If there's a lot of background noise on this, it's just because there's people walking through. We're at Blue Light right now.
We are.
But
the guy with the skateboard is gone, which I'm a little sad about.
yeah. I don't think really there's going to be too much background noise. I know that will be on there.
Yeah,
That
for
screech,
sure.
but it's okay.
Oh man. So anyway, yeah. So we did that, and then we went back and I don't know, first week of February, and did the rest, and I don't know. I think it's really special, man. I think it's got some really nice moments, and I don't know. It's not, you work on something for so long, and then you just now it's like we're just waiting. We got to line up all these ducks, and
Yeah.
that was one thing I was like laughing at like really good buddies with the guys from Flatland, and they like finished the record and like put it right out, and I was like, man, like that's crazy. Obviously, it worked out very well for them, but like I'm much more like I don't know. I get really into the minutia. I want everything to be like a really specific way, and like the release to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it freaking matters at all, but
yeah, that the Flatland release. I remember talking with Clodo, probably like a month before the release, month and a half, and it was like, yeah, we're still. I'm getting all nervous because I'm still working on doing this stuff and blah 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 and blah, and then a month later it's like, oh, we're gonna release the record in 2 weeks, and here it is, and I was like, shit, man, you guys just did it. You guys got it finished up.
Yeah, they busted it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I think it's interesting the different ways you can make a record and I guess like think of what a record is.
Right.
Like that's I for most people it's just, a collection of songs.
Sure.
It's like, and probably for a lot of buyers it's a collection of songs in which I don't like half of them, or not even necessarily I don't like half of them, but I don't listen to them because I didn't ever listen to them.
Right.
Which that's an entirely different thing. But, well,
I think
if you're able to, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think also it gets a little bit harder as you go along. Like I don't know, overthink it, or, you want it to be, like, I'm just nervous about, like, I'm, like, sometimes, like, so, like, just basically sick to my stomach about this new record. I'm just like,
yeah.
Are people gonna like it? Is it any good? I don't know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it is interesting for sure. Everyone's got their own process, but that's the beauty of it. It's art. So there's no set way.
When I interviewed Dave Cobb the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And, he's just talking about, just matter of fact about how, we, it's like whenever I cut that record with Sturgill, that was only in 4 days, it's just like, oh shit, man, you guys. But that's his philosophy on record making. Yeah. Let's make something quick and fast and like capture a moment,
Right.
Versus 4 days. He said they cut it in 4 days.
Oh my God. That's fun.
And like the Stapleton record, he said 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like I think they did the Sturgill record at Cobb's like back studio in his house, and then the other one was in like RCA Studio B or something like that.
Fancy studio.
Yeah, which he's like in charge of now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyways, it's like regardless of if you think of course 4 days is really short, but like 2 weeks is also very short.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. And it goes fast too. Like, this record we did it in basically 2 1-week stints.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think what a lot of people don't realize too is, 10, 12-hour days. At the end of the third day, you've been sitting essentially in a room with loud noises.
Yeah.
With drums, and, you're just trying to get the arrangement down, and you've heard every song 15 times.
Yeah.
And you just sort of get like brain goop. I don't know.
Yeah. What's that? And then probably the next part is the whole mixing and mastering. And then, if you're really into that, you're listening to it 1,000 more times.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And you're trying to figure out, if this is right, or if I tweak this, is this going to sound better? And then sometimes you tweak it and you're like, oh wait, no, can we go back?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the other way? So, yeah, it's interesting. This was a lot different than the record I made before this, just in terms of the process too.
Mhm.
So,
how did you guys do it last time?
last time, I did it up at 115 Recording Studios in Norman with Wes Sharon, who's done
Yeah.
Turnpike Records and John Fulbright Records, and I was still pretty new, so I didn't really have a band yet per se. I had a guitar player, Glenn, who's still with me, and kind of just hired some guys to play from Dallas, and got in there and wasn't 100% sure what songs we were gonna do, and just kind of tried to make it. I don't know. It was poorly planned.
Yeah.
I think the result was, in the end, was good. It got me somewhere. Got me where I needed to go. And I think Wes did a really great job on Next Flight Home, which was our first single, and that really kind of started us down the path or whatever to where
Yeah.
we are now. But for this record, it was just like I said, a lot more time planning the songs, and then I ended up using studio guys and guys who had worked together a lot, which saved us time in the studio in terms of, I'm coming to these songs to them with these songs pretty much acoustic. Some of them I had some arrangements in mind, but we bang it out one way and then we say, okay, let's listen to this reference track, and it's very nimble. There was whereas if I were to do it with my band, there would be sort of this institutional knowledge of, well, we've always done it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So the producer says we want to try it this way, but
Yeah.
it can create maybe a weird, I don't know, attitude or vibe in the studio. So it was really cool. The vibe was, it was really awesome.
Yeah.
This time around. So.
I've heard about maybe not necessarily the band being the regular band being lazy about it, but in a, this is going to be so much more work if we do it this way.
Right.
But in a we've been doing it this way for 6 months now.
Right. It's just
that-
like I said, it's just the institutional,
Mhm.
it's just, and then you hear it the other way, you're not going to like it because they're used to it the other way.
Yeah.
I know when we would switch stuff around, even the studio guys, it was uncomfortable for me, but you just kind of had to step back and say, and that was the other thing. There was a lot of trust between me, and I trusted Rob and BDP kind of in their ears, I guess, and kind of, so it was just good, man. It was a great experience. I learned so much, and I'm hoping it'll open some doors or whatever. I don't know how this works now.
Yeah.
Now's the hard part.
Yeah. What was the most difficult song to write?
To write. Huh. Well, so How Could You, which is I think track 7 or 8, was a song I'd written a different way. It was about a different thing, and I was personal story, I suppose. My girlfriend we were both living in Dallas over the summer, and she's in school, so she had to leave at the end of summer and go back to school. It was tough. So I kind of came to it from, it was a love song, and it kind of got tweaked to being more of a how the theory of the song is, how could you leave, basically. Of course,
Yeah.
wasn't actually necessarily the case, but it was just capturing that feeling of, and it was very, I don't know, very vulnerable feeling, and it was hard to write. I wrote it at it was a hard couple weeks, I suppose, in my life, and I don't know. I really think songwriting is important in that way, just to my life. It's songwriting is kind of the only thing, I always say, the only thing nobody told me to do. But I mean, I was writing songs when I was 14 just because I was pissed at my parents or whatever, and it helps me. I'm a oftentimes pretty depressed guy or a dark guy, and it gives me some, I don't know, relief, if that makes sense. Or so I I don't know. I like that part of it, and I just like the process of, you know, we were talking about with that Stroger record. It's like you're just trying to capture this little feeling, I guess. So.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting as far as like songs can be just a moment in time, right? Where like last week, whenever we had BJ and Will on, BJ's talking about "I Hope He Breaks Your Heart," and
Well, it's a great story.
And he was like, you know, I went back and wrote that song, and I didn't really think it was going to be more than that, and then somebody captured it on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And then people started wanting that song, like requesting that song, and that's how like the song, I guess, got put on, eventually recorded and put on the record and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just saying how it's he doesn't feel that way now. It was like a moment of seeing his girlfriend walk into the bar where he was playing
Sure.
with the guy,
Right.
and him going backstage and writing that song down, and then going back out there with an acoustic and pointing her out,
Yeah.
calling her out on it. And
It's awesome though. It's such
Yeah.
a great story. And I mean, it's, you know, sort of like an anthem for them at this point.
yeah,
Which is really cool. And I think songs, every song has a different process too. Like on my record, like the last track is a song called Arkansas, and that was a song that happened pretty much in 15 minutes. I just kind of started playing, and then it kind of came out, maybe tweaked it a little bit, but then there are other songs on there, like What Happened Was, the first track, or Busted. I mean, What Happened Was, I probably worked on maybe for over a year, off and on, and Busted was about something else. And then, you know, I like to write as, I think of songwriting sort of as like polishing a really like dirty bowl. So initially you're just kind of trying to get most of the big stuff off and like get it down to paper and on your phone, and then sometimes that's good enough, and other times you listen back and you tweak it, and then, you know, sometimes you can just fall down the rabbit hole of tweaking this, and then, oh no, well now this line doesn't make sense. So it definitely depends on the song, but
yeah,
but I like working it out. I enjoy it's kind of like a puzzle.
yeah.
Every song's a little puzzle.
The actual work of putting a song.
Yeah. Well, and I
Yeah.
just love the craft of songwriting, and I think, you know, it's kind of like a calling in a way, and oftentimes, you know, not rewarding, and, you know, it's
Yeah.
a struggle. It's a struggle being a musician, and, you know, but that's, you know, I'm sure any job anyone has, they feel like it's a struggle. So
Yeah. The on this record, one of the things I noticed was that, especially on those first like 3 or 4 tracks,
yeah,
like the opening lines are just really vivid images, like very specific things.
yeah.
You know, is that, do you like that? Do you like to try and get that in the first line of the song, like to I guess start the image in the listener's head right off the bat with something just straight and to the point?
Yeah, you know, of course it depends on the song, but I like the I call it like a tell. So if you tell someone in a song like turn down the sheets, turn off the light, when you hear that in your mind, you're staring at probably a bed, and the bedspread is a certain color, and the light looks a certain way, and a lampshade, and it's arranged in a certain way in the room. And I love how you can say so little and maybe put someone in the song immediately, and it's their own world that they're imagining. So I think, you know, as much as I can, I try and do it that way, or like with somebody else's problem, like the first line is like, you little crybaby. So obviously that's not really setting the scene as much as it is. It's just, you know, that was how I felt at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's effective. I think, you know, it's a cold start too. So I think it can be a little bit jarring.
Yeah.
In a good way.
But
Hopefully.
like Busted, you're starting out just in a car.
Yeah.
You know, that's I don't know. I think like those first line images that's one of the first things I had noticed on.
Yeah.
Just like the one playthrough that I did.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, I think I don't know. Busted is kind of my. I like that. That's sort of like my ideal sound too. It's like think of it as like a deserty sound. That's always what I'm trying to kind of capture, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
A deserty sound.
Yeah. You know, just like barren and space and
Yeah.
it's dusty, kind
Yeah.
of dirty. I don't know.
Did you guys, you're talking just about music with Rob
Yeah.
before even getting this record going, becoming friends and like becoming better friends, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Did you, before going to the studio kind of thing, did you go, hey, can we make this record sound like, I want to like point you in a direction and I want it to sound this kind of way
Yeah.
with specific ideas, specific records or songs?
We had
Or
specific
styles,
ideas
themes.
and styles, and you know, some of them stuck around and some of them didn't. Like obviously, at the time we were both really into the Stapleton record,
Mhm.
and that was kind of at its maybe, well, peak for me. I think it peaked nationally, like maybe exactly 2 weeks later. But so, you know, we spent a lot of time thinking about that record and thinking about, you know, we really bonded over some of those Ryan Adams records, and I mean, there's a lot of one of my all-time favorite records is that Hayes Carl, Trouble in Mind, I think.
Yeah.
With Beaumont, and I think the Trouble in Mind record was sort of the starting point. It was like, let's make something like this, and there are a few songs in there that I think you can definitely feel the influence.
Yeah.
So
Man, it's never this busy, ever.
people are having a good time, man. It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've been that guy
yeah.
many a time. But anyways, okay, speaking of like Hayes and Sturgill, they
Yeah.
both had new records out.
Yeah.
What, have you listened to them yet? Have you
You know, I have actually
dived in?
I have not listened. I listened to the Hayes single. What is it? Lovers.
Like Levers and Lover?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And
Maybe that's the record name. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm so bad
No,
with
for the
names.
sake of the song, that was a single.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was,
I really liked that. The Sturgill record I have not gotten to yet, not because I didn't want to, but I was
Mhm.
sort of saving it. But I did listen to like this 2.5 hour podcast he did with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
That was like surprisingly like mind blowing and
Yeah.
awesome.
That's what this podcast is. 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I could never do that. I feel like that would just
Couldn't
be
talk
like,
for that
oh
long.
shit, man! Like we run out of.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead.
what was the podcast about? Like, did he go
Um,
into the making of the record and all that? Like, what he was looking for?
They did a little bit, but I think more they just talked about life. And I mean, what I admire so much about Jason Isbell and Sturgill is like, there's some guys who sort of kept the path. You know, they're in their later 30s, I think, maybe early 40s. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but they just kind of kept going and kept growing. And I admire that. I love I mean, obviously Jason Isbell had a lot of success, like but you know, I think you get older and you learn more and you kind of think about life a certain way, and that's one of the reasons I'm really excited to listen to the Sturgill record. So
Yeah.
is it any good?
Oh, I think it's great.
Yeah.
What I find interesting about just both those records is that, I think like they've been critically acclaimed, you
Sure.
know, but there has been some, don't necessarily want to call it blowback, but like, oh, this record is not, because obviously people are going like, this record is not Meta Modern Sounds. I wanted Meta Modern Sounds
Right.
2.0, and same thing like I wanted K-Mag Yo-Yo 2.0,
Right.
and it's like the anti K-Mag.
Sure.
It's very slow and sad, and
Yeah.
you know, they're all just singer-songwriter songs. You know, they're not ramblers. You know, they're not barroom ballads or
Right. Right.
And I think it's just interesting to see. I think there is a difference between saying, "Oh, I don't like this record," and saying, "I didn't want this record." You
Right.
know, I feel
Absolutely.
like you can say you don't want those songs or like you don't like the songs. I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like saying that whatever like creative bone like in whoever's body, like in Sturgill's body, like you're just saying like no, don't turn that off.
Yeah.
You know, or
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, and you know.
And I guess
mean,
there's been some with both those guys.
Isn't that part of the reason, like, maybe why we like them so much is because they just don't care?
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't. I think everyone cares a little.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, so cool for Sturgill to have all that success. You know, he could kind of do, honestly, whatever he wanted, and people were kind of buy it. It doesn't mean they'll listen to it, but,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I think that's very freeing
Yeah.
as an artist. I mean, that's one thing Ryan Adams has never been afraid of is, like, hey, I made this record. I'm going to take a complete left turn now and make this record. And you can like it or not. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a few weeks back I was talking about like Sturgill, Isbell, and Stapleton. They're more or less the three leading the new face of
Sure.
Americana country, or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. And they're really good at all three facets, if you will, of music, as far as the voice, songwriting, and style.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was that you could boil them down to being really elite at one certain thing, where like Sturgill's voice, or Stapleton's voice,
Right.
is just incredible, right? He's
Yeah.
able to put just so much raw emotion into a vocal take.
Mm-hmm.
And Isbell is like just an incredible songwriter.
Yeah, lyrically, it's just
And
unbelievable.
Sturgill, on the other hand, is like theme-wise, like
Mhm.
ideas
Yeah.
is more or less his thing, probably more than the other two. And I was just thinking about like it's probably not necessarily harder for him to go, oh, I'm going to make this next record is going to be about this.
Right.
I don't think that it's necessarily going to be hard for him to do that, but it's probably harder. It's a bigger jump for the listener to jump
To
from
make,
record
yeah.
to record,
Well, and
where listeners will jump with vocals or songs.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, in Sturgill's records to me are very vibey records,
Mhm.
and they're great front to back at like this sort of certain way. Whereas, Jason Isbell, like I find myself a lot more like jumping in between songs. I love listening to the record front to back, but
Mhm.
maybe this week I'm really into Speed Trap Town, or
Yeah.
and then the next week I'm jumping back to like Super 8 Motel, which is like such an underrated song.
Yeah.
Love that song. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And Stapleton's the same way. It's like, oh, Traveler, this is the song.
Yeah.
And again, they're all great front to back, but I think Sturgill kind of has that. It's just so vibey. It's like,
Yeah.
you
His record is more of a, not saying like the other records are not records, but his is more of a, you would not be mad if you had to just put like one track on and it was
Right.
just like one
yeah.
complete track, no individual songs.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to see what, I guess, like where people want to stay with music. And I'm
Yeah.
saying it's fine. Like I know like a lot of people really don't have the time to invest in music. It's like, oh,
Right.
I'm doing, like I have a life, I've got like 3 kids and
Right.
I really can't decide on like exactly what the new Sturgill record's supposed to be about. That kind of thing. I understand that.
Yeah.
You're not like, a lot of people are not listening to music the way we're listening to music.
Right.
But I do find it interesting to see like where, like what's the bridge. That bridge is just too far. Like
Right.
I've gone all this way, but that one right there, no, I'm not gonna cross.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. And I'm really excited for what John Fulbright does next.
Yeah.
I just think that guy is like so insanely talented. I saw him last week in New York City.
Yeah.
Acoustic show, room about this big, and like just simultaneously unbelievably inspired and also like just wanted to quit because it was so it's just great.
Yeah.
Great entertainer and great stories, great great lyrics, but also he's just great at playing the harmonica, and
Mhm.
I mean, he's a very talented musician overall.
Yeah. I only saw him one time, and it was here.
Yeah.
He's opening for Todd Snyder.
Okay.
And that was like, I don't know how long ago. That was
Yeah.
probably like 3-4 years back.
Yeah.
And I guess he was going to play. He was opening for Patty Griffin
Okay.
at Cactus it's probably like a year ago, and then he had to cancel. So
Huh.
I was just like,
Oh
fuck, man. But I think Fulbright, like, those are records that you can just dive into and just get
yeah.
lost within that record.
Absolutely. I mean, Songs is, it's such a great record. And when I was up there in Norman working on my record, they just kind of finished that record more or less. And allegedly, there was a record that was made before.
Oh, really?
And John just said, man, this isn't what I want to do. I want to make a record that's hard to sell.
Yeah.
And it's like what I want to do. And he made Songs, and it was like,
Yeah.
man, that's...
Songs, it feels like it's like the record is, there's so much talk about how to make a record,
Yeah,
like how to write a song,
right.
like what is, I guess, like he started writing songs about the writing process of, you know,
It's very meta.
yeah. But
But, I mean, it's great. I mean, guys like him and Parker Millsap, man, it's just...
see, his new one is just, he had that one song on there, Heaven Sent.
Yeah.
Have you listened to that?
I have not... I think I saw you tweet about it, which is maybe what made me tune in. I think I listened to that, and it's one about the silver lining and the pining.
Yeah, Pining, yeah.
So great.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you listened to the podcast I did with Drew Kennedy, but he was talking about how he thinks the perfect way to make a great American songwriter is to raise him up in a Pentecostal church until like the age of like 16.
And then release
And
it to
then-
the world.
Yeah, well, he had it very specific. He was like, then at 16 you give him a stack of Playboys and like a bottle of whiskey and a guitar. Like, something like that.
Yeah,
Which,
and I think that's more or less his story. So,
yeah.
oh, that's incredible.
All those guys though,
I know. It's just...
it's the
It's this Oklahoma thing, man. It
Mhm.
makes being from, I mean, you got Turnpike, too, up
Yeah.
there from Oklahoma. I mean, you got a million amazing
Moreland.
bands from, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I saw him in Nashville, acoustic guitar, no band, Sunday night, played, I don't know, 10 songs, said no words to anyone. I
Mhm.
think he said thank you one time, played his last song, just handed his guitar and walked off, and it was like. But
Yeah.
it was incredible,
Mhm.
That guy is definitely a songwriter to admire. For
Mhm.
sure.
I think so much of their sound is the like the Southern Gothic overtones.
Yeah,
The Southern mythicism of just like that. There's so much history in the South. I feel like Texas, like we're part of the South in a way, but it's more west.
it is.
And
Well, and even in Texas is so big too, right? Because I mean, the Lubbock sound, if you will, is a lot different than the kind of stuff that they're making in Austin or wherever. I guess those are the two maybe poles that you would choose from in Texas. But
even what's the difference between like Fort Worth and Dallas? I bet there's a little
Dallas,
even
I mean, Fort Worth is. I love Fort Worth, man. I mean,
Mhm.
they got the great music scene over there. I mean, Dallas is tough, man. I mean, like sometimes it's hard to tell people you're from Dallas. When people think of you a certain way or whatever. I mean, Fort Worth is kind of I've always thought of it as like the gateway to West Texas. That's kind of always been
See, that's one of those things where I bought this book, and it was probably a book that came out in like 70,
yeah,
71 or something like that. And it was this dude who was going around Texas and going around to all the like all the bars in Texas
yeah.
and like ranking them as far as
Oh,
like
wow.
kind of that kind of thing. And I thought it was weird that he grouped like Fort Worth with West Texas and like Dallas with like Dallas or something.
Yeah, but
there was like, but I always thought that was weird, or I thought that was weird. But then talking with people were like, no, that's a real thing.
well, yeah, it's just, I mean, compared to Dallas, it's very slow. It's a slower pace in Fort
Mhm.
Worth, and I mean, I think people probably say that too because of all that the stockyards, and it feels very.
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, there's a great scene out there. Dallas has, the places kind of I started, venues like Love and War or 8 Air Saloon,
Mm-hmm.
which is like I started playing 8 Air Saloon Monday nights because that's what Jack Ingram did for like 3 or 4 years, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, dude, I want to do this. I think Jack might be one of the only guys to come out of Dallas that I'm like thinking of off the top of my head. I think Granger Smith went to Dallas, so there's always that. He's from Dallas, but it's just it's interesting, I guess, the way that it all works. And I mean, I think here in Lubbock, you get jealous of what the kind of community here. I know I do. I wish we had something like that in over in Dallas. It would have been a lot easier, I think. I mean, part of like getting started was just trying to find the right people to.
Listening room.
Yeah,
like
well, I mean,
the right crowd.
Most of the guys who write songs in Dallas are just like older guys doing it for a hobby. So you go to like a songwriter night or whatever, and you're the youngest one there, and it's not relatable. And that was really hard, and I always kind of had this, even when I was living in Boston, this sort of like fascination with Lubbock and what it was like here, and just kind of got lucky like getting into it here because we played at Magnolia Motor Lounge in Fort Worth and with the Hog Mollies.
Yeah.
And they were playing here like a week later, and they were like, hey, do y'all want to come open for us? And it was like, dude, yeah, we'd love to. We've been coming back ever since. But, I mean, without those guys, I don't think, I mean, how many, there's a million bands who want to play at Blue Light.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing. I don't know if you guys realize, like, how big of a...
I think it's starting to get to a point where... I've had conversations with various people about this, like Will and, just some local guys.
Yeah.
Like the Ultra Store Cowboy guys, like about what is the tipping point kind of thing. Like what's the point where I guess like we've been called underrated forever.
Sure.
And at what point do we just become normally rated?
Well, hopefully never. You want to keep that underdog status, right?
I guess. But then, there was that article just a few weeks ago about like the 5 underrated places or music scenes in Lubbock, and I was like, "Yep, well there it is."
There it is. Yeah. You might be right.
My litmus test is going to be like once they start charging for parking around here, then it's
all
it's
gonna go
over.
to hell. Yeah.
Within 10 years.
I think that's a problem with like Dallas or something. It's just there's no place to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, like, besides 8 Airs. I mean, Deep Elm is kind of coming back, and I mean, we're obviously fortunate on some level to be from there, so like we don't have any problem drawing in our home market. But it's cool to be. I think last time we played Blue Light, there was like 160 people, and like we're just some band from Dallas who hadn't been around that long, and people are requesting songs, and you're just like, man, this is. I mean, that happens in Fort Worth. That happens in maybe Stephenville from time to time, and but it's just cool. It's a cool little scene.
I think what's going to happen is like, in 30 years when there's like a book about this Lubbock music, people are going to get it in their head that like all these people lived in Lubbock at one time, that kind of thing. Because that's what I do with like the 70s, like 70s Lubbock. I'd think, oh yeah, all these guys lived here at one time. They're all hanging out, and like that's just not the case. You know what I mean? Like,
no. But I think it's like it's a rallying point anyway, and there are events that people come back to.
Yeah, I mean, like there was at one point where like Josh and like Will, and Charlie Shafter and Brandon Adams and Thruster Cowboys and like all those guys lived here. Kenneth O'Meara, they all lived here at one point. Grady Spencer.
Yeah.
What was that?
Whoops.
But they were they lived here all at one point. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
No, it is very interesting. It's
now they weren't like who they were or
no,
now,
no.
but
and I mean that's the beauty of it, right? You
Yeah.
gotta. I mean, you're never gonna make friends with someone who's already made it. I mean, it's unlikely, you know.
Yeah.
On that level, like the friendships that, you know, I have now with you know, with Rob or Cleto or whoever, you know. So it's really neat, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all going somewhere, and it'll be cool, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I think so. I think you know, it's I think like what's happening in Texas music is there's been a shift.
Yeah.
As far as it's going back to more rootsy stuff, more like natural sounds.
Right.
And I think that that lends itself to I don't want to necessarily say more honest writing, but it's a little bit more earthy.
Yeah.
A little bit more grounded.
Maybe it's just better, you know.
It's better too. That's an opinion, but you know.
Well, I mean,
I think
I think just to top it all off, that the best thing that Chris Stapleton and Isabel and Sturgill have done is make like the song, good songwriting, like important again.
The sake of the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think that'll pay. I mean, I think for songwriters, you know, who are coming up, I think that they're paving the way in a very, you know, it's people are more.
Yeah.
I mean, people are, you know, a lot of people don't like to think about it that way, but you know, in Nashville or whatever, like they've got their machine, and being, you know, if they'll start investing in that, it's good for everyone. You know, so
yeah,
I think it'll be good.
We're coming up on like an hour here.
Awesome. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey guys, one last note before getting on to Troy playing a new song off his new record. I would like to mention that today, which is Thursday, that we have Daniel Markham's new record streaming online on Newslang. You can go to newslanglubbock.com and find it there. We'll be streaming it until tomorrow when the album officially comes out. You'll want to make sure to buy that record. It's pretty incredible. Two, if you could go ahead and subscribe to the Newslang podcast, go ahead and give us a review and share it with all your friends. That really helps us out. And if you're looking for our Panhandle Newslang Lubbock music shirt, we do still have, I guess, copies of it. We still have T-shirts available, so we haven't set up a store yet. We promise, or I promise, I'll get a store set up at some point. But if you want a shirt now, you can always just email us, which is at newslang.editors@gmail.com. So anyways, yeah, here's Troy playing a new song off his upcoming record.
Well, this is a song on the upcoming record, release date to be determined, sometime late summer. This is a song called Busted. Well, it was running kind of funny, yeah, the windows rolled down, just trying to make it to my buddy's house. About the time I pulled up, heard an awful sound, the middle of the street, wrong side of town. Well, that's where the whole thing broke down. And I'm all played out like a movie scene. You're riding shotgun right next to me. Oh, I didn't know it was falling apart out in the middle with a broken heart. Look inside, the whole thing's rusted. Baby, don't even start. It's busted. Well, don't even call AAA to tow it away. The thing's about as worthless as some potter's clay. Got 87 cents baking in the ashtray. Favorite pair of shades, some plans we made. It's a price I have to pay to get to walk away.
and